I don't know what possesses men to do the things that we do. I don't know how you could ever be this upset with a woman. Um, I don't. Like, I'm being honest with you. I can't even wrap my brain around, what could compel you to do something like this for them. I'm saying within reason, I guess. Like, even if I think about the like cheating or something, like just leave. Just if she cheats on you, you could just leave. I don't understand. But I think this is just rooted in men's possessiveness of women and feeling like women are objects to be had and to be controlled. And when they don't do the things that men feel like they should be doing, a lot of times men react in violent ways, like this man just did. But this is a man right here. Um, he unalived his woman and then went live about it, like made videos and like posted about what he did and why he did it. So trigger warning to say the least.
People are gonna call me crazier and wonder why I did what I did. Deception. Stop dealing in deception with people. When I met Ashley, I was openly polyamorous. I slept with women. I was upfront about it. I told her about my anger issues. I told her about my felony. I told her about prison. I told her about being controlling.
46-year-old Rayshawn Smith was the man who had the audacity to go on social media to justify the reason why he shot and killed his girlfriend Ashley Harden, aged 38, in broad daylight. This couple, who nobody saw to be having any sort of relationship troubles, ended up in the news for very terrible reasons. Why on earth will anyone kill their partner and still go on social media to calmly talk about the reason he did it? Well, let's find out what actually made him do this and see what is going on inside his head. Hello and
The reason why he did it, the reason why not the reason why he killed her, unalived her. The reason why he went online to talk about it, though, to me, two reasons: to shame her, because he that's how much disdain and hatred he has for this woman, or had for this woman, or the memory of this woman, I should say. And the second reason is because he's a narcissist and he wants the attention that this activity or this action will garner, this behavior will garner.
this story takes us to Rockford, Illinois. Rockford, Illinois, a city in northern Illinois, is the fifth most populous city in the state and the largest outside the Chicago metropolitan area. With a crime rate of 4,065 per 100,000 residents, Rockford has a crime rate that is 74.91% higher than the national average. Ashley Harden, aged 38, was a beautiful lady who grew up and lived in the Rockford, Illinois. She attended Sterling High School. Ashley was a well-liked person. She was happy and also a very beautiful soul who liked to sing. She loved to encourage people who were down.
All right. Tried to find some quiet time. I don't know if these kids are going to let me, but just wanted to answer to the challenge of Janet Salter, just encouraging folks to be thankful right now for all that's going on in the world. If you're still alive, if you're still able to work, your kids are healthy.
Just an overall positive person, huh? Of course, it's always happening to them.
Your loved ones are healthy and safe. Just be thankful. Could have been us. Some people are way worse off than we are, so just stay thankful. All right. Tragedies are commonplace. All kinds of diseases. People are slipping away. Economy's down. People don't get enough pay. But as for me, all I can say is thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Yeah. Who's next?
Ashley, who was also a mother of 3 lovely kids, was a loving mother. She dedicated a lot of her life to her kids and her partner. This partner of hers was 46 years old Rayshawn Smith.
Chapter 34, Choices. Crack is a lethal concoction, sinister from its inception and foolproof in its means. Of all obstacles in our way, pain is one of the worst social ills that plague blacks in this country since we were brought here in chains.
Rayshawn was someone who had a sketchy background. He had been in prison, he cheats, he has anger problems and all kinds of negative things you can think about. This was supposed to be a big red flag, but Ashley still let him into her heart out of kindness, which she would later regret. He was also an author who wrote a book called Sociopath or Wrong Path.
All right, everybody, it is official. I am a published author. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What is that? Sociopath or wrong? What does that mean? What do you mean sociopath or wrong path? I don't even. God.
To the countless people that have helped me over the years in putting this together, everyone that's proofread, everyone that's offered me words of encouragement, everyone that I've said to you, hey, you're in my book, you are in my book. There have been a lot of names that were changed. There have been a lot of situations that were changed or tweaked to kind of protect the integrity of certain people and protect the innocent, and for legal reasons, of course. But the book is definitely based on my life. It's based on a lot of people that I've run into in my life. I'm not a writer. I just had a story to tell. I'm not a writer, but I have 8 more books in the works of just stories that things that I want to share. So there is a progression.
She loved him a lot. She posted about it on her social media account. In this post she said, "So, I'm not officially on Facebook, but this guy turned 44 yesterday, and I wanted to show him some love. Happy birthday to you, my love. You work hard to make life better for us, and it is always appreciated. Love you forever." Apart from that, she posted a lot of his pictures on her social media. She professes his love for him, but unfortunately that would not be enough for a sociopath like Rayshawn. That was what people saw on the outside, but things were not like that on the inside. They had been having all sort of issues which no one knew about. Unknown to people, she had been trying to break up with him due to him sleeping around and other irresponsible acts by him, but he would not let that happen. After realizing he could not keep Ashley, he decided to kill her and all of her kids altogether. His plan was to pour gasoline around the house and burn it down with her and her kids inside of it. On July 23, 2022, he put his plans to motion. He was in the process of dousing the house with gasoline when Ashley smelt the gasoline, so she went to inspect what was happening outside. That would be the last time anyone saw Ashley alive. About 4 hours after she was reported missing, the Roscoe Police Department responded at 7:35 a.m. to Ecolab, at 5151 East Rockton Road, where Hardin was found deceased behind a business. Rayshawn then did the unthinkable. He went online to let everyone know he did it and it was a justified killing. His twisted mind told him he had done the right thing, and he was not shy to tell everyone his story. Here is a video of his rants.
People are going to call me crazier and wonder why I did what I did. Deception. Stop dealing in deception with people. When I met Ashley, I was openly polyamorous. I slept with women. I was upfront about it. I told her about my anger issues. I told her about my felony. I told her about prison. I told her about me being controlling, violent, everything. I gave her every opportunity to walk away.
That would be the last.
Highly doubted. And also, real quick, this is what I was talking about the other day when I was talking about, like, when people be like, when men in prison be acting like, oh, we got a code of honor in prison and da 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 da. So explain to me how the men in prison, when a man is in prison for harming women and children, they get dealt with, right? But then a man comes from prison and then does that on the outside, right? A man that went to prison gets out of prison and then does it when he has the opportunity to on the outside. What does that mean? That means that the men that are in prison actually don't have a code of ethics when it comes to protecting women and children. They're the ones who are harming the women and children the most. You guys don't have a code of ethics in prison about that. That shit, that code of ethics, whatever, quotation for sure. That is just them. That is just men looking for a reason to bully and pick on a group of men. And I'm not like, this is not me defending, the men that they're bullying and picking on or whatever. I'm just saying that's what it's rooted in. They justify it by, you harmed a woman, let me punch on you. Like, as if you wouldn't harm a woman, as if most of them haven't harmed women. They just don't have it on their jackets. It just doesn't show up on their jackets. You dig what I'm saying? I hate that story. Like I hear that so many times. They be like, oh yeah, in prison they be look what they do to rapists and the P3DOs and women abusers. And I'm like, yeah, that's just to justify them bullying men and beating up men. The same thing that I see on the outside with the men who like track down the they do like the Chris Hansen type of stuff where they, lure the P3DOs to the houses or to Walmart and they beat them up and they trip them and stuff like. They don't care about kids. They're just doing that for content and to bully men. And again, I don't care about the P3DOs. I'm just calling out the fact that those men are often themselves P3DOs. That's all I'm saying. Like they themselves are often the men who are also harming women and children, off camera or whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm always clocking that shit because it's weird. I'm like, no, I don't really care about that shit. You would go about it in a completely different way if you were truly trying to protect men, trying to protect women and children. And so many times when you hear men, and this dude is clearly beyond, he is disgusting, but he is talking like most men talk. When you ask a man to describe how a woman hurt them or what a woman has done to them or whatever the case may be, they are very vague and they speak in platitudes. So this whole like dealing in deception, what are you talking about? I bet you if you ask him to articulate what does that mean to him, he doesn't even know the definition of that phrase. I bet you dollars to donuts that Ashley wasn't dealing in deception. She was dealing with your deceptive ass. If that's what you mean dealing in deception, then fine. But she wasn't the one that was being deceptive. Like, get the fuck out of here. But they always speak in these really vague terms and these broad concepts that they don't understand, but it makes them sound like they're smarter than they are, and it makes it sound like it's deeper and it's this real deep-rooted issue or whatever the case may be. Whole time he was abusive. She didn't like him. She was trying to leave. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she even stepped. I'm not even saying this about Ashley. I'm saying about the men who were talking about this. And in that, maybe she stepped out with some dude when in her mind the relationship had ended already because she tried to break it off with this asshole and he just won't let her. He won't leave her alone. And she finally cheats because technically they're together. And look how deceptive she is. And you can't trust these women. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
I gave her every opportunity to be honest with me, but instead she chose to constantly deal in deception. And I'm tired of it, period.
Be specific. How was she dealing in deception? What do you mean? Be specific. What did she do?
And a lot of the deception is far beyond her. It comes from the Rockford fucking Black church. When I met her, she had just stopped a pastor in his church. In fact, she's fucked with like 4 or 5 pastors here in Rockford. And it's not just her. The Rockford Black church is corrupt as fuck. They protect these predatory pastors. They give them money.
So not to sound too crass, because nobody should lose their life in this instance. But if the deception was beyond her and it was the fault of the pastors, why not go after them? I mean, that's the thing. Doesn't that make the most sense?
All these fucking pastors around, they got all these goddaughters and young light-skinned girls that they taking on trips to other countries and to all these concerts and church this and that. And you stupid people in Rockford pay the tithes and offerings to pay for this shit. I know countless women with evidence that have dealt with these black pastors here in Rockford.
So why not expose the pastors? Why kill Ashley? That doesn't make any sense. Why what? Dude, the way that, and again, y'all, I promise you, yeah, this dude is extreme and blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you, short of killing this woman, I've heard tons of men talk like this when they talk about like the issues that existed in their relationships. And like, where did they stem? Like, where did the the issue stem from, they be blaming everybody but themselves. They don't, it has never anything to do with them. They're just the one that's exposing the evil. I just did a video the other day when this dude was like obsessed with this woman's daughter, and he was like saying that, you know, it was the guy that was the boyfriend of the daughter was being deceptive and he's abusive probably. He had no evidence, by the way. He just, you know, just said this, and now he was trying to protect the daughter or whatever, but come to find out he was just obsessing over the daughter and he wanted to sleep with the daughter and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's all it is. Like, are you jealous of the pastors? Like, because you can't do it or something like that? I'm not understanding. Because if you were truly trying to bring them down, you wouldn't kill a woman. Like, why would you kill a woman? You're trying to expose these pastors. He's just trying to make it seem like it's bigger than him. Like, oh man, you know, it was just my heart. My heart was telling me to kill this young, beautiful woman. Mother. Like, what the fuck?
And y'all go for it. One of the worst motherfuckers, Ronald Alexander. Look in his phone. Look in your daughter's phone. If if your daughter go to his church, look in her phone. E.J. Parham. I don't know how the fuck he became a pastor, and everybody know he used to bop on Broadway almost every fucking day. Bishop James, on Grendel. And all this shit is always rumored about in Rockford, but it gets swept under the rug. And then another bad one was Larry Hamilton, Ashley's ex-husband. He's so fucking corrupt. All his fake ailments and tithe and offering and sympathy. The two, Ashley and Larry, were sneaky and corrupt together.
So why is Ashley the only one you hurt? I'm so confused. You just named like four men. Y'all be so scared of other men. And also, this is just pure bullshit. What you're saying is pure. I'm not defending the men because, again, definitely would never defend no men I don't know, especially no pastors. But you clearly, that's not what this is about. This is sick. The level in which that you are trying to obfuscate and shift blame to everybody but yourself for killing this woman is crazy. But again, I have to clock the fact that I've heard men that were killers talk just like this about the women that they dealt with that they harmed. They would blame everybody else for the harm they caused the woman and never do this and never do this. They never look in the mirror, never self-reflect, nothing, none of that. No introspection whatsoever. No accountability.
3 sneaky, corrupt fucking children. Hate me for saying it, but it's fucking truth. And now Larry can get all the empathy that he wants. He can get all the fucking tithe and offerings that he wants. Do better. Y'all supposed to be so fucking churchy. I've been looked down on by the black church my entire life.
Yeah, you deserved it. You're a piece of shit. And again, no defense of the black church or any church, but I got to go for the church in this instance. Oh, just on GP, I see why they shunned you.
When me and Ashley first announced that we was around, my blood fucking cousin Lynn Washington go try to warn her on Facebook. Why? Well, here
you killed her. What? You killed her. He warned her and you killed. What the fuck are you talking about?
here's your why.
According to court documents, milk jugs containing gasoline were found on the property. At least one of the jugs was poured on the house. Her friends could not believe he did this to her, but they remembered her as the nice person she was.
Heartbreaking story this evening about one woman who recently passed away. Our Shannon Taylor has more.
Damn, bro. That's such an infuriating story to hear. Wow, that dude would, oh my God. So he just funneled all of his hatred and channeled it and just set his ire on this one helpless woman. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? That is so disturbing. That is so disturbing. Wow. I'm at a loss for words. That is none of that made sense. It never would, but I mean, Jesus, that was worse than I expected. He sat up there and mentioned 19 men, children, everybody, but he hurt this one woman. Nah, bro, you hurt that woman because she was trying to leave you. You hurt that woman. You killed that woman because she was trying to leave you. And you never were honest with her. Stop fucking lying, talking about how dangerous of a person you were and all that. Stop lying. You didn't tell that woman all of that shit. Fucking liar. Everything that man said is a fucking lie. The worst. And it's so scary because that's how easily men be lying in general. That's how men talk. They sound just like him. They sound just like him. I just had a lie where this dude came up here. I know him personally in real life. The lies he told me, how easily they flowed, and I didn't even say nothing in the live. I let it go. But the lies he told, I'm sitting there like, bro, what the fuck? You just lying? Everything he said was a lie. Just trying to justify all of his abusive behavior, his neglect, the reason why his relationships didn't continue, the reason why they ended and all of that stuff. It was all him though. All of it was. This is par for the course for me. This is crazy. So many men sound like psychopaths and sociopaths.